So we're going to set up our technical drawings. The minimum standard is to have these panels attached to each other. If you don't have them, finish them off, make sure they're the right size to start with. If you've got the base, you can show that as well. If you've got the top edging and the lid, have them all active. If you haven't got them quite together yet, you can hide them and just show the panels. So we're going to do our drawings off that. Now, if you haven't already, make sure you've watched the videos to set the preferences. We're going to upload a Rostrevor template. So on Sector, you'll find the Rostrevor template, and we're going to come in here and go upload, select file. Mine's saved on my desktop. It's called Rostrevor template. You'll need to access that through Sector, save it to a place you know, and then upload it the same way as I just showed you. It's not crucial that you've got this template, but if you've got it, it'll make a nice, neat drawing with the Rostrevor logo in the bottom. It should only take a couple of seconds to upload. Once you've got it, it will be seen in your folder here, so you can see I've got it a couple of times now. Oh, sorry, it's this one. It's in my project folder, so I can use it. Like I said before, if you don't have that, it's not the end of the world. You'll still be able to do this next part. So I've got everything that I want to see in the drawing. We're going to go to drawing, new drawing from design. We're going to go to Rostrevor template. You might have to click it a couple of times before it turns up, so there it is. Full assembly, because we're going to show everything that we've made so far, and we're going to click OK. Once that opens, it's going to automatically place a view in. You might find that it's not the front view, so we want to look directly at the front of our project for this. If you've got a different type of view, so if you think it's your side, you can come up to the properties here, maybe change it to a right and see if that shows your front panel. But we definitely want the view that's been put on the page to be the front. If it says right in the in this box, that's fine. It's just the orientation of your project is built in a different kind of viewpoint. So I've placed my front view. This one here, we're going to have just visual edges, and we're going to click OK. We can change the size of this later. So the next thing we're going to do is project some views. From that view, we want to project a view up. So we're looking at the top down, and then we want to look at the side from that position. Then we're going to put our isometric view up in the corner. Once you're done, you can press Enter or Escape or right click and click OK. This one here, the isometric, we're going to double click it and we're going to make it shaded and close. This one here is our driving view. So if I change the size of this one, so let's say 1 to 10, that changes the scale for everything. So if we printed this on the right size paper, this is an A4 sheet, that would come up. Now they'll come up like to scale, so it would shrink it perfectly. So if you put a ruler on it, it would work nicely. I'm just going to place the views where it fits a little bit better. I might change the scale again just a little bit lower, because I want a bit of space to put the dimensions on around here. You can see the scale in the title block didn't automatically change, so I'm going to change that too. 1 to 12 is a very strange, you'd normally upscale your sheet and make it an even number, but for the sake of what we're doing, this should be really good. So the next thing is we can put some dimensions on. So if I press D for dimension, it's this one here, we want to put every dimension we need here to create this box. So our overall sizes from our top view. What's really important is the length of this rail, because that's something we have to set the radial arm saw for. Another thing that's really important is the length of this rail here. So make sure you include that one. The length of this rail is really important. We can do the overall size of the panel. So this one here, it should be 84 longer than this rail here. And continue on and create a drawing with some really neat dimensions and what you need, include what you need to produce this. The other thing that I'm going to show you is what we call a detailed view. So a detailed view, you can put it on any edge. Let's just write down on here. So I'm going to click that edge and then expand the circle out, and it's going to produce a detailed view here. Once I OK that, I can move this to center my screen a bit. I can move this by clicking on it and making that larger or smaller. I can move the center point, and I'm just going to make sure I can see everything I want here. The idea of a detailed kind of breakaway view is that you can change the scale of it. So I'm going to go to 1 to 5, so it's a nice big scale, and rather than draw all the dimensions of all these bits and pieces on here, you've got a larger view to do that. Make sure the label is nice and neat, so that's down near, so the A corresponds with the view A. We might double click it and show the hidden lines on this, so all of a sudden it's a bit more complicated. And with our dimension tool, we can put some of those dimensions on that we had before. So, oops, didn't select. So we can put our diameters of the dowel holes, and we can also put like the spacing. So it was 20 between, if you remember from drawing it, and it is 11 from there to there. So once again, it's coming off the screen, but if you press escape and then tidy these up, don't worry about pulling the measurements a little bit further away from your view if you need that space. So that shows the detail. This is probably the most basic drawing you get to detail what we're going to make. Make sure these measurements are on. Insert some more detailed views if you think you need to show the information. The other thing that you could do is you could break down your drawings into individual components. So you could do a drawing of the front panel, drawing of the side panel, drawing of the lid, drawing of the base. Remember what I said to start the project. At minimum, can you please do what I just did for the panels? So if you haven't got the lid and the base, make sure that you have got them turned off or hidden, and you can draw the 4 panels in this format, and that will get you kind of going onto your woodwork project.